Josslyn Glenn with News by Muse, and I'm here with Dani Calvo and Francisco Ramos here at the Comedy Store in Hollywood. So, and you two are hosting this event in support of a nonprofit. Considering everything that's going on right now, LA has been home to you two for a number of years. How does it feel to see this industry and your city undergo not only fires this year, and this industry being really slow, but also the crackdowns on people in our communities?
So this is not our first fundraiser, actually. Like, so we've been producing the show here at the Comedy Store this Septiembre, so from September. Yeah. And then in Febrero, we were like, okay, we need to do a fundraiser for the Latino families affected by the wildfires. Yes. And then this time around, just texted him 2 days ago, like, so we're doing it again, right?
Yeah, we should do it because we didn't plan it, but obviously when this happened, we're like, hey, now that we have this platform to provide any relief, even though as small as possible, but just to do something. I think it was like a no brainer.
Yeah, it was like obviously we're doing it. It was like I already felt good about bringing people together, bringing Latinos together to laugh. I'm like, as long as we do that, as long as we can distract Latinos for an hour, Latinos in Los Angeles for an hour or two, and make them laugh, that's my job is done. Our job is done. But if we can also encourage them to donate, and there was like a lot of people who were like buying tickets that can't even come to the show. They're like, we just want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the response is actually was very overwhelmingly great and positive. I mean, I've gotten even just a posting that I did on Instagram, people are going, great job, thank you for doing this, and all that stuff. So it's great for people to even be encouraged by it, because I think it is a thing that we need to be always be aware of it, and keep I think information just even this is just even like a thing so people are aware of what's happening.
Yeah, it's raising funds and spreading awareness of things, and it's like, I mean, this show is already so it's so special because it's at the Comedy Store, which is like a legendary institution, and they've never had a show in Espanol before, like a consistent regular show. Like, if it's not every month, it's every other month. But we're in the venue room right now. Like, this is the smallest of the three rooms here, but we dream. We dream of like going to the original room and the main room, and this community is only growing, and we're always inviting. So it's us two, and then we always invite three Latino comedians.
Yes, that are basically guests that are we just either friends or people that we know. We get recommended us, but the whole point is also to make this regular show so people can understand that they can just come to come see stand up in Spanish, just like how people come to this club to see stand up in English. Sometimes they don't know what's going to perform. They just know it's going to be good comedy. That's the same thing that we want to do with this. It's like knowing, like, hey, they can come to the show. They know they're going to have a great time. Not necessarily new who's performing, but they know there's going to be great comedy and stand up, and from different parts of Latin America. That's another thing too. We're not catering to just one specific. We're just to all Latinos.
Yeah, I mean, he's Venezolano, I'm Argentina, and then we always have un Mexicano, un Colombiano, un Dominicano, Puerto Rican. Like, we try to make all Latinos.
Spanish one.
We have a Gallego coming today. We have a Espanol sir from España coming today. Very excited. Yeah, we've had Salvadoreños. Like, this is a show para todos los Latinos, and even just that is like having the Latinos speak in their different Spanish accents is already funny. Like, that's already part of it. We've had Latino comedians who've only done stand-up in English their whole life do their first stand-up in Espanol at our show.
And they loved it, and they're like, I want to do more. It was so much fun, and the crowd is always very positive and receptive and acceptance. So it's great. I think the whole point is just to keep this growing and growing and growing, and then let people know about it, because that's the thing too. I think stand-up in Spanish is still very new,
in the United States,
and also Latin culture. It's not. I think it's still a thing where like people go see somebody instead of like how it's been here in the U.S. That people just, I want to go see stand up tonight. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with this.
Yeah, Francisco's really big about, like, we don't need to have the biggest headliners. Like, we just need to have people who are funny, and they need to trust us that, like, we're gonna give them a funny show. Like, he's like, I don't want people to be coming to see a specific person.
Yeah, because then they just come for that. We want it to be able, and I want these people to come back, so they know, like, hey, every time I come back, there's gonna be new comics that I'm gonna discover. And obviously, yeah, there's like a big headline that's gonna come. We'll do it. I mean, it's not like we don't want to.
No, I mean we've had like Felipe Esparza, we've had Jose, we've had Jesus Trejo,
Carlos Santos.
Carlos Santos, of course. But it's like, we don't make that like the core of the show. Like the core of the show is come watch Comedia en Español, te vas a reír, la vas a pasar bien, you're gonna have a great time. Trust
and
us.
you might get surprises, which is what the comedy store does. That's pretty much the same kind of pattern. You come see a show and then somebody big pops in, and then you get a Bill Burr.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the.
Were there any surprises today? I mean, did you have to change your set just to make it more in line with what's going on out there, or did you already have a set?
When we decided to make this fundraiser. So we have cast the comedians like a month ago. It's pretty like in advance that we have to do the casting for it. But I mean, we always have like some big names and then some like developmental spots. That's also super important to us. It's like give someone a 5-minute set in Español, their first time doing it in Español, or their first time doing it here, or it's like. We want to make sure we have both. Like we're developing comedians, and then we're also like giving a stage to like more established comedians.
And so, I mean, comedy. We all loved our comedy. Comedy tends to mask some of the tragedies that we've gone, and you both have highlighted that in your own personal sets in the past. So, I mean, given everything that is happening, do you both feel afraid for people in your community, and how do you mask that while you're on the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid for me.
Myself. Yeah.
I mean, I one of the things that I do is I'm born in Venezuela, and now Venezuela, like top everybody, it's like not a good thing, unfortunately. So it's like, it's yeah. I feel like I'm always, I do make fun of it, but it is a concern, because now it's like, unfortunately, it's not even. It's like I feel like it has nothing. Sometimes it's like it has nothing to do with if you're a citizen or legal. It's more about like what you look like or stuff like that. So it is concerning for everybody, and I feel like people should be afraid, even if you're not Latino, or even if you're not, because that should not happen. I think you definitely, if you break the laws, you gotta have consequences. But but most people are not doing that.
Yeah, I mean that's not the real threat right now. Like we all know that. We all know that the real threat right now is not immigrants in the country. Like LA is so full of Latinos. Like everyone has a neighbor, a friend, a family member. Like it's ridiculous that this is happening here out of all the cities in the country. But I'm really proud of LA. I'm so proud of LA. I'm not from LA. I'm a transplant. But I couldn't be prouder of how the city has really come together. And it's a similar feeling that I got from the wildfires. I was like, wow, this is so devastating. This is so heartbreaking. But it was so inspiring to see how the community quickly organized, quickly got together, and quickly made sure like we're gonna show up for each other. And the same thing is happening right now. And I'm just like grateful that we can be a part of that. Like I'm grateful that like we can fundraise a little bit, spread the word. I mean, I had people who couldn't make it to the show, and they're like, okay, I can't go, but where do I donate, or like what do I do? And it's just like we're just a part of the conversation. And again, just like bringing joy to Latinos in this time is like, I really think that it's scary. What you were saying, it is scary. I'm scared. I have friends that I'm really really scared for. But at the end of the day, because we're comedians, I'm like, I have to laugh though. Like I have to find a way to laugh and to make other people laugh. Like that's the only way I can push through this. Yeah.
And so, Francisco, I mean, you really address, I mean, both of you do, the polarities between being an American and being born in Latin America, and then you being born in Miami. So do you sense any of the, I don't know, the commonalities or the parallels between what's happening in our country with our administration and what has happened in Venezuela in terms of their politics?
I've been saying this
only your whole life.
A long time. That this is very similar to, even though I moved out of Venezuela just before all the government was there. But I went back and visited, and then obviously I have family and friends over there, so I saw what was happening, and unfortunately, it's very similar to when somebody like a populist leader that's that does that gets into government, and you see like the similarities of like how they talk, how they address, how they blame scapegoats and all this stuff. So it is unfortunately very similar. And now it's not even for just even Latin America, but other countries that have had this kind of like government as
100%. I mean, in Argentina, my parents lived through a fascist dictatorship, like a military fascist dictatorship. So also very similar. Complete other end of this political spectrum, but the two spectrums at the end end up being very similar, very populist. A video that I saw recently that really reminded me of it was these protesters talking to the National Guard and being like, "You're on the wrong side of history. Like you should be defending El Pueblo. You should be defending the people, and not like wake up. Like who are you really protecting?" And it literally reminds me of like stories I've heard from Venezuela, from Argentina, and it's chilling how history repeats itself. And I do think that we're at a pivotal moment. We're at a turning point right now, and people are starting to wake up. Not to be like, oh, super optimistic, it's gonna be okay. No, I think it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. I think the Marines just got here to LA and they're gonna be here for a while. And esto recién empieza. This is just getting started. But I don't know. At least something that I'm seeing that's a little different from what I've heard in the past is that people are waking up. People are realizing that we have to show up for each other now, or it'll be too late. And the community is strong. The LA Latino community is so strong. We have a lot of allies outside of Latinos. Like I've seen a lot of allies showing up for us. So I'm just like grateful to be a part of it. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm like, oh my god, I'm putting all the Latinos in one room. Like, it's like, But we're at the comedy store. The comedy store is so happy for us too. Like, they're so glad that we're doing this.
Yeah, they were very supportive. They're very happy. Even like, when we brought the whole idea of donating a percentage of the ticket sales to this, they were like, "Oh, this is great." So they were very happy and supportive of, because I think that's the also being as a comic and that's kind of like the comic is always like, look, it's like we're always like them in a way the minorities, or we talk about this stuff that people. So that's very universal.
And that's the change we want to see. I mean, the fact that you have all this support, how are we supposed to humanize Latinos or immigrants in society if we don't have performances where you're able to speak Spanish completely freely and you look out for todos los Latinos, different identities, Puerto Ricanos, Jose Velasquez, he was here, Salvi. You have so many comedians out there. And I think very little people know that, Danny, you have a master's in business management. 1% of Latinas that get their master's degree. And specifically, this business is very difficult to manage yourself, but you are your own brand, your own business to manage that. So how are you really employing that master's to really build a community and shepherd it?
I love this question. Yeah, that is true. I did realize that as I was graduating that like 1% of Latinas in the country have master's degrees. It was really important for me to get my master's degrees for my parents. Literally, like my parents sacrificed so much for me to be raised here and have the perfect childhood that they couldn't have. And so honestly, for me, what my master's in business means to me is like I know my worth as an artist. I know my worth as an artist. I know my value, the value of my art. I know how to read a contract. I know how to produce and run a business and keep accountability of everything and make sure that like this is a sustainable thing. That's what really the business aspect comes into it because like I want it to keep growing. I want it to keep growing. Esto recién empieza. Like the comedia en español here recién empieza. So yeah, that's such a beautiful question, Jessica. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And so, I mean, Francisco, I know that Brad Garrett and 800 Gorillas, they produced a comedy show with you headlining it, Venezuelan American. And that was brilliant. I mean, are you seeing like a newfound fan base from you? And then Danny, inevitably, you will have your own comedy show. Who will you have open for you?
No, I mean, they're very thankful for Brad Garrett because he did produce that special. He was and basically paid for it, and then he was such a great person. He was like, hey, you can do whatever you want with it, and you can sell it, you can put it on YouTube, whatever it is. And then I had a relationship with 800 Gorilla already because I did a comedy album a while back, and yeah, it's been great because it has opened other fan base as well. Even it aired in United Airlines, which was pretty cool. Like, so that's the best way to.
People are always posting on their stories like, "I'm watching Francisco."
Which is like that's what you want because there's nothing else to do. but yeah, and I did have seen a different also, just with that, and then just with my Instagram social clips, I just seen different new fan base of different, Latinos and Venezuelans have come into the shows, which has been great because it's been cool to see that the connection, and also the main thing that people tell me after the shows is like, hey, I'm very proud of what you're doing. You put in Latino and Venezuelan in a good light, and they always say that, which is great because we need that, but it also feels good that at least sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough, and it's cool to hear that, to be like, okay, yes.
Yeah, as Latinos, we never feel like we're doing enough.
Nah, yes.
Literally.
Thanks to my
Our parents tell us that.
That's what I was like, thanks to my parents. Everything.
We're high achieving.
Yes.
Very proud of our community for that. I mean, for me, Francisco's the veteran here. He's been at the store for 15 years. I'm newer to comedy. I've been doing it for only 3 years. And I think for me, before I get to a special, I really would love to go on tour. Like, that's like what I want, in the next couple years.
That's how you build it.
That's how you build your special. Yeah. So I'm also very grateful for Francisco. He's like such a mentor for me, and like I already just doing the shows here at the Comedy Store, I feel like I've grown so much. He's like, yeah, I remember your first show. But yeah, so I think for me, my next step is planning what cities I would like to tour. I've already performed in Miami a few
Hometown.
times, and what's up?
Hometown.
Hometown shows. Yeah. I performed in LA so many, but I would love to do, by the end of the year for me, a goal is like do San Diego or do Orlando, or just start to like grow a little bit outside of like my two like home bases. But yeah, then build my special.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to watching you out there. Thank you for everything. Yes.